Welcome back to another episode of the Sistah Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. And I'm just a sister who has a lot to talk about. And from week to week, you already know I got more and more things to talk about, okay? Now, what's been going on this week with your sister, okay? This week has been a very, very long week for your sister. I can't even get into the details with y'all, but just keep your girl in prayer, okay? You know, put it on the altar. Put it on the altar. for those who know. But yes, put it on the altar for your girl. It's been a very long week. As you can see, I got the glass and I got the bottle, okay? Listen, not only has it been a very busy week in my personal life, of course you all know it's been a chaotic week as far as America, okay? America got its first dictator a couple of days ago. You know, I'm not even gonna get in too deep with that. I try to stay away from politics because it's a touchy subject, but what I will say is I never thought in my life I would actually delete so many people off of Facebook. So this is your fair warning right here. If you don't see me pop up on your timeline any longer, it's because you have been dismissed. It's just, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm one of those people that I'm pretty well-rounded and I'm pretty understanding when it comes to people who have different viewpoints than I do myself, and I'm okay. I think that we all should have different viewpoints. That's what make people. That's what make this world run the way that it does. That's what inspires change. That's what inspires new ideas, is because somebody thought differently to somebody else. So I'm okay with the thought that people think differently, but what I'm not okay with is those communities who are marginalized taking a stance with a person who outrightly disrespects them to their face, and then spewing out all types of hatred and ignorance. I couldn't take the ignorance, so I deleted a lot of people. But hey, here we are. The damage is done. I've heard a lot of different accounts of, oh, you know, they're going to recount votes in different states. Then I heard them say, you know, well, he's a felon and he's still awaiting trial right now, so it's not over. So I don't know. I'm just going to drink to the fact that I'm still here. I'm still healthy. And I get to talk to y'all one more time, okay? So, salud. Now, before I go any further, for those of you who are not currently subscribed to my channel, please click the link at the bottom of this video that says subscribe. Make sure it turns red. And then if you see the bell notification on the side, click on that so you get notified every time I drop a new episode. Help your sister on her road to 200 subscribers, okay? We're getting closer and closer. Also, your sister finally, listen, I told y'all on a few other episodes that your sister was wrapping up film school, okay? Listen, why can't I never find this applause button? Okay, there we go. Your sister is wrapping up film school very shortly. Listen, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. I started this journey in January. We're now in November. So I almost took a full year to get through this program. But I'm almost done. I'm wrapping up. And I told you all that I had a capstone project. I was tasked with the assignment of creating a short film or music video or anything of that nature. And I chose to do a short film. And the short film is called The Only. Now, The Only centers around an African-American male. Okay, listen, you know what? I shared the press kit, but in case y'all didn't read the fine print, I'm gonna read the fine print for y'all real quick, okay? Look, I'm just gonna spend a couple of seconds to shameless plug my work, because I worked so hard on it. But if you don't know what The Only is a film that is centered around a young African-American man who struggles with microaggressions and being the only black person at work. A mysterious change of fate gives his colleague a walk in his shoes. Now, this is the synopsis, just to give you a little bit more. The short film centers around a young African astute businessman named James as he navigates being the only black person at work. We learn that even though James is the lead on the project, he has to constantly deal with his snide colleague Kyle, who is the office's golden boy, downplaying his authority, not valuing his time, and taking credit for his work. As James struggles with microaggressions and unconscious biases and workplace tensions escalate, a mysterious change of fate occurs and allows Kyle to take a walk in James's shoes. Now, like I said, this is a short film. It's 6 minutes, just shy of 6 minutes. So I know it's going to be a surprise to you all because you're used to me doing such extensive work. But this is a 6-minute film that is set to drop on December the 4th. I believe that's that Wednesday. Whatever the first Wednesday is in December, that's when it will drop. But keep your eye out on all the promotional materials that'll get you all hyped, that'll be coming out leading up into it. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about almost being done with film school. So shout out to your sister one more time for, taking the time to perfect my craft, okay? Sometimes you got to put a little extra in to get a little extra out. So I am hopeful and I am just happy, and I hope that you all received the project with the intent that it was intended, and I hope you enjoy. Now that we got all of that good stuff out of the way, and hopefully you click that button below and subscribe to the channel so you can make sure that you see the only when it premieres on my YouTube channel. Now that you all have done all of those things, it's time to spill the tea, okay? Get your pinkies up. Listen, it's been a lot of craziness going on this week. I haven't even said anything about the election just yet, okay? Do I or do I not say anything about the election this week? I toyed with it. Listen, let me take a little sip of my drink, because the election stressed me out this year. If it wasn't the 30,000 text messages that went directly to my spam folder. Listen, because I saw so many people say, I ain't never replied stop so much in my life. Let me tell you something. You're crazy, because I ain't replied stop not one time. But you know what I did? I clicked report spam, block. You know how many numbers I had blocked? I had so many numbers blocked in my folder. If it wasn't all of those solicitations, if it wasn't all the papers that was hung on my door, left on my doorstep, if it wasn't all the propaganda spewing out all the crazy details on the TV, it damn sure took the cake when a convicted felon who happened to have been impeached twice, okay, out of this same position, secured a position in the presidency again. And I think that, I said this before when we reported on the fact that President Trump was convicted of several felonies and he's pending trial on a lot of those. I think we talked about this. I think that we need to have a deeper discussion. It's a slap to the American people's faces that a felon gets to run our country, but a felon cannot get a job, that a felon cannot get a gun license, that a felon cannot vote in this country. But yet we deface the American institutions by allowing this man in office with the same criteria that we shun people for who are on a lower level just because they don't have as much money and as much notoriety as him. Now, on another end of it, and I'm not going to go too much in it because this ain't even none of the tea for real. But I told a line on it because I feel as though in this country, there's a lot of tension between African American people right now. I think there's a clear divide between black women and black men. I think that a lot of black women feel let down. I feel like a lot of black women feel like black men went against us once again. We always feel like we're out here on this limb by ourselves and our men don't back us up. And what I will say from the numbers that I saw when they broke it down by different demographics, male, female, which race, and who they voted for, most importantly is to note that Latino males voted astronomically higher than anyone else for President Trump. But it's also something to be said that there was a large number of black men who voted for President Trump as well. And for the life of me, I just couldn't understand why there were so many people voting for someone who outrightly says that they hate them. Vote for someone who outrightly says that they will deport their family, if they're illegal and they came across the border. I just think that it's not wise to support someone who verbally and verbalizes publicly that they hate you. And so that's just my little spill on it. I don't know what the next 4 years hold on it. What I will say is God is still sovereign. And I just know that if it happened, it's because God allowed it to happen, and He will make sure that we are taken care of during these next 4 years. And so just keep your faith in God. And I know it felt like a defeat to many of us, but what I will say is just keep praying and keep the faith, and listen, vote in the primaries, okay? That's all I got to say about it. A lot of y'all don't vote in the primaries because realistically, yes, the president has power. However, the real change happens in Congress and in Senate. And if we don't fill the House with people who identify with the things that we would like to see happen and change in our communities, we won't see it happen on a national scale. So that's just my little piece of the tea. Now, for real this time. Listen, for real, y'all. Listen, I know I ran my mouth for a little while longer, but it's time to spill the tea. Pinkies up, y'all. Now, on the last episode, we talked about, what's his name? Daniel Kaluuya, who was honored with a statue from his sunken place. With his sunken place moment from Get Out. But this week, there's another statue in town. Another statue on the block. And that's Dwayne Wade, okay? Listen, a lot of you know who Dwayne Wade is. Dwayne Wade played for the Miami Heat for a very long period of time. And he won several championships with them. And so they honored my man Dwayne Wade with a statue that commemorated one of his most famous moments, where it was a "This is my house" moment following a game-winning double overtime shoot against the Chicago Bulls in 2019. Now, the funny thing about this sculpture, I didn't think it could get worse, okay? Listen, we reported on the wax figure of Nipsey Hussle, where a lot of people were upset because, his leg, he was posted up, but not clearly posting up somewhere. And it looked weird to a lot of people. Then we also, like I said, talked about Daniel Kaluuya's statue on the last episode where he was falling into the sunken place. And I didn't really quite think it could get worse, but it did. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it definitely has garnered a lot of mixed reviews on the internet. A lot of people don't think it looks like him. I've seen several. When I say I've seen several memes, I have been thoroughly enjoying those, by the way. But I've seen several memes that have been ripping this thing to shreds. Now, the crazy thing about this statue is that Dwayne Wade actually played a huge part in the creation of this statue. So he already knew what it looked like before it got unveiled. And so I think that the moral of this story should be, if he happy with it, look, if he like it, I love it. Okay. It's his statue. He was the first of any of the Miami Heat players in history to actually get a statue that was dedicated to him that was actually outside of the arena. So this particular statue is currently sitting at the Casilla Center in Miami. It was designed by Timeless Creations, which involves a person by the name of Omri Amrani and Oscar Leone. This statue has been most popularly compared to Lawrence Fishburne. People been calling this thing Wayne Dade. And the list goes on. Listen, people are not happy with this. But the actual person who created this sculpture said that there's a lot that you all need to understand about it, okay? The person said that when they made this statue, they had to seal everything to keep the integrity of the sculpture. However, that does create a funny little side effect of being glossy in areas that are not used to being seen when looking at somebody in the flesh. The sealer definitely creates a little bit of misunderstanding to the eye. So they definitely encourage you all to come to Miami and view it in person. At this point, they're like, look, good press, bad press. At the end of the day, y'all talking about it, it's getting recognition. So they want y'all to come see it because it's not, the picture online doesn't do it any justice. Now, Dwayne Wade also has something to say about this because, like I said, he took tremendous pride in this statue. He said, if I wanted it to look like me, I'd just stand outside of the arena and let y'all take photos with me, okay? He said it's an artistic version of the moment that happened that they're trying to cement. And he said during the news conference that he was just like, that's beautiful. He said, I'm biased, but I think it's one of the best statues that's been created because of what it represents for us and what it represents for me. He said, I care, but I really don't. He said, mind your business. And he said the social media world and his opinions, everyone has an opinion, everyone uses opinions, and just continue to talk about it. Listen, continue to talk about it. He's okay with as long as you talking. As long as you talking, he don't give a damn what you're talking about. But it's a no for me, dog. It's a no. I just think that Dwayne Wade, first of all, let's just start with the fact that I used to think Dwayne Wade was the most handsome, okay? When he first came onto the scene, I had the biggest crush on him and Reggie Bush, okay? Listen, because your sister loves the chocolate, okay? Listen, Dwayne Wade used to be one of my faves, but I'll just say that he might be the black that cracked too. But you know, hey, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Did you like the statue? Does it look like him? Do you plan on going to Miami to check it out? Let me know in the chat. Now, moving on to the next spill the tea topic. All right. I'm going to show y'all a short clip. I'm not even going to show y'all the whole thing. I think that a few seconds will suffice. But one of the Breakfast Club's most prized members, DJ Envy, is under fire this week because he allowed his youngest daughter, well, I don't know if she's the youngest, but she's a young daughter. I believe she's like 8 or something like that. And her name is Brooklyn Casey, okay? Now, he allowed his daughter to recreate a video mimicking Crush on You by Lil' Kim. Now, Lil' Kim, I had to let you know, but I got a crush on you. Now, shorty, you know... all right, listen, I don't even know the words. But y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the video where she changed from color to color to color.
I know you see me on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you.
Hey yo, shorty, won't you go get a bag of the lethal? I'll be undressed in the bra all see-through. While you count your jewels thinking I'ma cheat you. The only one thing I wanna do is freak you. Keep your stone sets, I got my own baguettes. And I'll be doing things that you won't regret. Little Kim the queen bee, so you best take heed. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed.
He allowed his daughter to dress up like Lil' Kim and recreate this video for Halloween. Now, in his mind, he said, you know what? This is pretty innocent. I thought it was a salute to the queen. But there's so many people in the chat that are just like, missed the mark for me, dog, because in this day and age where we're having discussions about, Diddy and sex trafficking, and we're having conversations about R. Kelly and sleeping with underage and minors, we got to have a conversation about this because it allows the mind to wander. Okay, we got a lot of little sneezy little men out there that look at this and sexualize these young girls. And so there's a lot of people out there that are just like, nah, I really don't see it, but okay. Like, if you want us to believe it, we're going to believe it if that's what you want. But there also are some people who thought it was okay. For instance, Cardi B basically was in the comment section blowing it up saying she took the assignment very serious. She ate that. Lil Scrappy said the baby got best actor in a film. She did that. Then you got people like Walt from Black Ink Crew who said this is gross and inappropriate to have your child out here dressing and rapping like this for the world to see. Dope concept, wrong delivery. I don't know any decent parents who would be okay with their daughter in an outfit like this at 8 years old. Very inappropriate. Now, would I allow my daughter to recreate something such as this? Because you gotta think about it. Lil' Kim was known for her dirty lyrics, okay? You know, she was a very sexual being and still is to this day, but especially in that era, she was a very sexual person. And so to put a young girl in that same role, like, I think it could have been put your lighters up, hey, put your lighters, like, it could have been any song by Lil' Kim, okay? It could have been Moulin Rouge, it could have been anything. I don't understand why it really had to be this song. Honestly, I do want to say that Lil Sis, she definitely gave it her all, and she did understand the assignment, obviously. But where I think they missed the mark is not necessarily with allowing her to do it. I think where they missed the mark was the outfit, and not all the outfits, because for the most part she was covered up. It was just the one moment where she was wearing that red outfit and she had on this kind of revealing little bathing suit that was the most questionable for most people. And so I'd say that if they would have just, I guess, recreated it in a kid-friendly type of way, I think that it would have been accepted a little bit more. But because they did it and it was seemingly sexy, and too sexy for an 8-year-old, that's why people have an issue. Now, you know, the internet be speaking, okay? TikTok be talking. And what people on the TikTok is saying that, and you know, listen, you know they always got something to say. You know they always got something to say, especially when stuff like this happen. They always say that the Illuminati has something to do with it. Basically saying that, you know, I don't know if you all know, but DJ Envy was in a situation with scamming with real estate and things of that nature not that long ago. And seemingly he didn't go down for it. He didn't see any type of reprimanding for it. He didn't get no type of consequences for it. And he still was able to maintain his job and his position. So a lot of people are like, that's a little fishy if you ask me. And a lot of people are like, well, the Illuminati must have had something to do with this. They must have came to him and said, hey, we about to lock your ass up. Or go ahead and let Shorty put that little skimpy little bathing suit on and let you know, parade her and over sexualize her for the world. That's not for me to be the judge on. I don't know. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that they went too far with this music video? Do you think it was tasteful? Do you think Lil Sis understood the assignment? Would you allow your 8-year-old daughter to parade around in a little bathing suit like that for the world to see? All the while of singing racy lyrics? Let me know in the chat. Moving on. Listen, this episode right here is probably going to be a very short episode because, like I said, it's been a very long week and your sister is trying to catch up on some TV shows after this. So, Will Smith. I think that the last time we talked about Will Smith was on the BET Awards. I believe it was the BET Awards where he came out and he performed with, I think it was Kirk Franklin that he performed with. And if it wasn't Kirk, I'm pretty sure it was Kirk Franklin. Because we talked about it because it kind of threw me off a little bit where I was just like, I don't really know how to feel about this. But Will Smith, we're talking about him today for another reason. And that's because he recently just started teasing on TikTok and other social platforms, different videos of him releasing different freestyles and different songs that he's working on right now. So the most popular clip, and I'm going to show it to you now, so take a look, is from his Team Tamagotchi remix, okay? And so take a look.
Look at this code on me. Ay, tell me who cold is me. Ay, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I mean, I'm right where that poster be. Save all the jokes for me, cause it ain't a joke to me. I pull up with gang, they gon' turn around and make a toast to me. Straight out of Philly, I came out the gutter, I still hit the city with all of my brothers. I might go to Overbrook, get me a cheesesteak, cause I got all this bread and butter. They tried to clone me, make it a body double, but I promise it won't be another. I had enough, I ain't with the tough talk, I mean, did I just the stutter?
Now, what are your thoughts? I think, personally, what my thoughts are is, I think that we can't have our cake and eat it too when it comes to Will Smith, okay? It's either we're going to have to accept the fact that he's corny, or we're going to have to accept the fact that he's actually a good rapper. Because to me, 90s Will Smith, which typically most people say is corny and, you know, schoolhouse rap and things of that nature. I think 90s Will Smith he definitely was for the culture, and he definitely was a part of the culture that started hip hop. However, I think that his raps back then were very like basic, you know what I mean? Like very basic. And most people were just like, I can't get with it, because I really couldn't get jiggy with it. Nah. Like, he made a lot of, I guess, commercial type music. It wasn't necessarily like for the streets, okay? But then when you fast forward to 2024 and you take a look at these new videos that he's dropping, it's like, my first thought was like, okay, Will, look, Big Willie from Philly, you better kill it. Listen, that was my first thought. My first thought was like, you better kill it. Because I think I will say it's always nice when you see legends, because I think that Will Smith is in that conversation of legends in hip hop, okay? He's in that conversation right up there with LL Cool J, with Queen Latifah, with MC Lyte, with Dougie Fresh, with Biz Markie. Like, he's of that era. And so we definitely got to put some respect on his name. And so I love to see when older people in hip hop kind of, I don't want to say conform, but they shape or tweak their style to fit the times and be relevant. And they do it in a way that's true to themselves. Because what I can say is, as he's rapping, he's not a Kendrick. He's not a J. Cole. He's not a lyricist, which we know is still very much hickory dickory dock. Like the mouse went up the clock. That's how the flow is. But he's pivoting. I don't know who wrote this rap for him, because I feel like he had to have collaborated with somebody, and somebody heavily put the pen to the page for him and helped him with his flow. So I would be curious to know, like, who came in the booth with Unc and basically helped him switch up his flow into something new. Do I like it? It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not gonna be that person. I'm not gonna be that person. He sounds good. Now, the thing that took me out is, because y'all know I be in them comments. What took me out was, in the comments, they're like, oh, so Mike Lowry rapping now? They was like, this ain't Will Smith. This is Mike Lowry, okay? And I can see that, because it's definitely giving alter ego. It's not giving Will Smith. But after everything that Will Smith has gone through in the past couple of years, do we blame him for trying to reinvent himself and now being this new fresh version of himself, and now this new more confident version of himself? I don't blame him, and I'm kind of here for it. But you know, with everything, listen, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, because I can only say that it's good for now. But don't go too far, Will. Look, don't go too far, because something tells me you're gonna push it. You're going to push it. You're going to try. But what are your thoughts in the chat? Let me know. Listen, because I don't think I've ever in my life heard anyone openly say, oh, Will Smith is my favorite rapper. So y'all let me know. Is it Dylan? I don't know. Listen, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Y'all feeling it, or we dissing it? Now, this next thing that I want to talk about, you all may or may not be familiar with, especially those of you who are into fashion real heavy. Hold on y'all. Listen, I'm not making much of a dent in my wine. Look, I told you I really wanted to watch my TV show. So I'm kind of like breezing on through this for y'all, okay? Listen, this week I'm trying to give y'all a little short episode. You know, you gotta open up the flavors, okay? Listen, I'm trying to make a dent in this bottle for y'all, okay? Because believe me, y'all, I need it. Like I told y'all last time, mind your business, I'm grown. But anyway, you may or may not know about this, especially those of you all that are into fashion. But there is a clothing line called Denim Tears by a man named Tremaine Emery. Now, some of you may know Tremaine Emery and you may be familiar with the brand because the signature look of it is a cotton wreath logo. So it looks like a white, and I'm going to try to show y'all a picture of it so you can see it. But it's a cotton wreath logo. And basically a lot of this man's clothing is dedicated to the Black experience and telling the Black story and the Black diaspora and all that type of stuff. And so he recently just came out with a new collection, which is called Kiss My Grits. Now, this new collection that he came out with is receiving a lot of mixed reviews, mainly because it's heavy. It's heavy on the stereotype, you know. Look, and shout out to my girl Jazz. It's heavy on the shucking and jiving, okay? Look, Jazz, this is for you, girl. Look, heavy on the shucking and jiving, okay? It's heavy. It's heavy. It's real heavy. Now, for those of us like myself who are history buffs, you know, I can see, because I like to pay homage through my art as well to the culture. So I can try to understand why he would think like this is tasteful, and I can definitely see his intention with wanting to bring it to the mainstream and tell the story. However, a lot of people are making the argument that the mainstream does not know about these references that he's putting right in front of our faces now. And so is it really helpful or is it more harmful? Now, the reason why it's so like controversial is because a lot of the pieces, and I'll try to show a few pictures of the things from this collection and you let me know whether you're wear it or not, but a lot of them are heavy on watermelons. Then there's a chicken bone necklace that he's selling. Now, the crazy thing about these pieces is, especially that chicken bone necklace, is how expensive it is, okay? So a lot of people are like, yeah, I think he's trying to capitalize off of Black trauma, and I think he kind of missed the mark. Cause it's a no for me, dog. Listen, it's a no. It's real homey. It's real plantation-esque. Okay. It's not giving. It's not giving. But then again, listen, in fashion, especially in streetwear, a lot of y'all be looking homeless. Sorry, not sorry. But it's giving that type of vibe. It's giving, you know, Cutting Eye Joe. From where did you go? Where did you go from Cutting Eye Joe? But I don't know how I feel about it, and I just wanted to ask y'all, how did y'all feel about it? Like where do we draw the line with artistic expression, especially when it comes to Black trauma, especially when it comes to high fashion, especially when it comes to the point where others that are not a part of the community will wear it, and will they be adequately educated before they put it on and before they showcase it, or will it perpetuate more ignorance? Let me know in the chat, because there's a lot of people who are not happy, and honestly, I'm not quite impressed. Yeah, I just feel like there's so many things in Black culture that we can highlight. There's so many Black innovations that we can highlight. And I think that, you know, the constant use of this picnic table print and, you know, watermelons and chicken bones, I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. But you let me know, guys. Like I said, listen, I'm just now learning how to style clothes and not wear them. So those of you in the chat who have a little bit more knowledge when it comes to fashion, let me know. Like, am I missing it? Am I not seeing the vision? Let me know in the chat. Well, listen, like I said, guys, that was a quick one for you. That was a quick one for you. Look. That was for you. But thank you all. It was a quick one. We're getting close to wrapping up this season. Like I said, I want to have some guests for you all coming up. So if you know of someone who would love to join me on this couch or join me virtually for the next season, please tag them in any of my posts. DM me and tell me their information so that I can reach out, because I'm definitely looking to connect with other people next season. But I definitely enjoy giving you all the tea this season. And like I said, we're not wrapping up just yet. I want to say I have one more episode for you all before I decide to give us a break for Thanksgiving, because I don't want to run into the holiday season. Give us a break for Thanksgiving and then come back right before we drop the Only on the channel to pick back up in December. But thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Sister Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva, and this is my wine. You can follow. Say that. Listen, first of all, we're not going to brush over that like you just didn't say that. This is my wine. Okay. Listen, your sister is crazy, okay? Like I said to y'all before I started this, it's been long. It's Thirsty Thursday. It's been a long week. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. You can follow me on social media at goldchain__diva. And make sure y'all check out the Only when it drops. Like I said, it's going to come out Wednesday, December 4th. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. Make sure you do all that good stuff. So I hope you all have an amazing week. I hope you all don't let this election stress you the hell out, okay? Because the sad reality of the situation is a lot of people are going to misconstrue that Trump is doing something great for us, because a lot of what he is going to do during his term is not going to affect us until he's gone. Let's make that very clear. And mark my words, you heard it here first. Have a good night. Because if not, I'm going to keep on talking. Because I got a lot to talk about, y'all. I got a lot.